If you're wondering why your dream life always seems to remain just outside of your grasp, it's probably because you're doing one of these three things wrong. Maybe you're doing two or all three of them wrong. I'm going to show you how to fix this in this video, and it's simpler than you probably think. Now, when I say it's simple, it doesn't necessarily mean it's easy. There will be times that this is going to be challenging. But when it comes to living your dream life, I think you're up for the challenge. For most of my adult life, I was pretty unhappy and quite broke. Now I have the best job in the world because I help people create their dream life as well. Let's start by diagnosing the problem. There are three specific areas that people are getting wrong. The first one is clarity. People lack the clarity of what it is they actually want and what would that dream life actually be like. You might be thinking, that's not my problem. Trust me, I've fantasized it, I've dreamed it, I've mapped it, I've vision boarded. I have every single detail figured out. That's actually probably working against you. That's not the kind of clarity that I mean. And people do get very specific about this, and I did the same thing. When I would listen to people, motivational speakers talk, they would say things like, you have to be razor sharp about all of the details of all of the goals that you want. And actually what happened a few times in my life, I actually got what I wanted, but because it didn't look specifically like I had imagined it, I actually couldn't enjoy it. I did not recognize the package that it showed up in. And so we don't need to be so razor sharp clear about every little detail. And in fact, like I said, that's probably holding you back to some extent. It's not clarity down to the specifics. It's more about clarity about really what does it for you. It's about what really fulfills you, what really motivates you. What are those deeper drives inside of you? It's not what we think it is. What we envision, what we imagine, what we're impressed by, the dazzling objects that capture our attention usually have very little to do with what really fulfills us, what we really value. So this is the first step that most people get wrong. They're not truly clear about what it is that they want. And when we lack clarity about what we want, it's really hard to step toward it. If you think about stepping out into the unknown, stepping out into the dark, when we can't see, we really don't usually take those steps. We stay where we are and we wait. And that's what most people are doing. They're actually waiting. Waiting as a mindset is what destroys dreams. There is always some sort of something that we can't see, we don't understand, that's standing between us and what it is that we want. And because we don't understand it, we think we're just going to wait. When you wait, all you're doing is allowing life circumstances to make your choices for you. And most of the time, that is not moving you closer to the dream life you want. If that's your strategy, then that's like trying to win the lottery. That's like trying to get to where you want to go just by accident. And that so rarely happens. When people are confused, when they're unclear, they tend to not do anything. This is why this first step is so crucial. If you don't understand it, if you don't have that clarity, most of the time, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to take that first step. And this is what is holding you back. The second problem is encountering inner resistance. Some people refer to this as self-sabotage, which is not really what's happening. I did a video on this recently. I will link it here in the description of this video. Inner resistance can show up as procrastination. It can show up as fear or self-doubt or even strong emotions like anger. People don't understand, first of all, that it's inner resistance that's happening. When we encounter it, we tend to blame other things or blame other people, or we blame the economy, or I wasn't dealt the right hand of cards in life. We make up all these reasons why. And then you might listen to some intelligent and wise people say, stop blaming other things. You need to take responsibility for your situation, for your life. And this is all good advice, but oftentimes what happens is that then people just start blaming themselves. They start beating themselves up, saying, oh, this is all my fault. That's not really what taking responsibility is. It's not going to help you to beat up on yourself. And when you experience inner resistance, calling it things like self-sabotage, as if to imply that you are actually sabotaging yourself on purpose, this is going in the wrong direction. This is getting into a fight with yourself. This creates inner conflict. And it's really hard to get what you want when you're having to fight yourself along the way. It's 100% unnecessary. However, there's a lot of people in personal development that like to hype up this whole idea of having strong willpower and discipline, and that's how you're going to do it. You're going to will and discipline yourself forward, just bulldoze over the resistance. And this never works. True, there are people who accomplish a lot doing that, but if they're having to fight themselves every step of the way, even if they accomplish what they want, they're not fulfilled by it, because you're basically having to fight and possibly even destroy part of yourself along the way. That's not how this works. That's not what fulfillment is. Fulfillment comes from a sense of wholeness, unity, integration from within, that all of you is on board with what it is that you want. And there's a way to make this happen. You do not need to fight yourself. You do not need willpower, and you do not need discipline in that sense. to get what you want. So the real problem here is encountering resistance and not knowing how to resolve it. The third problem is very much connected to the first problem. So the first problem is about lack of clarity about what you want. The third problem is lack of clarity about who you need to become to get what you want. What most people are trying to do is become the person they want to be by accomplishing things, by surrounding themselves with success, with achievement, with luxury items like a house or a car. And somehow this is supposed to validate you and mean something about you. But I can assure you, people who use this strategy, once they acquire all these things and they have all this success, not only do they feel as bad as they did before about themselves, they usually feel worse. Why would someone feel worse about this? Because they've acquired all of these things and they told themselves when they were able to achieve all these things, who they are would mean something, would have purpose. And they get here, it's just as empty. So that makes the feeling even worse. It makes the person feel even more lost. What they're really doing is they're putting the cart before the horse. They think that when I have these things, that will validate me, that will mean something about me. And this is not how this works, because if you don't solve that problem first before you go out and accomplish a lot of things and create that dream life, the problem follows you. It's not like it goes away, it goes with you. And we see this a lot with celebrities where they become famous, they're beautiful, they have so much influence, money, wealth, you name it. They're still insecure. They still have all their same problems. If they had addiction problems before, typically they're even worse when they become famous because they have more access, more people saying yes to them. If they had insecurities and self-doubts, when they become famous and the stakes are even higher, those self-doubts and insecurities get amplified. In order to create the life you want to live, it takes becoming the person who creates it, not the other way around. So how do we solve these problems? For the first one, about clarity, you need to understand what your values are. What are your highest values and how do you go about fulfilling them? A goal is a hypothesis about how you can fulfill those values. The process that we use is called values elicitation. You'll find a link in the description of this video. You'll get access to the values elicitation process. You want to do this process on every goal that you have. You can do a values elicitation for every major area of your life. You will understand so much better what is really driving you? What is motivating you? What is it you really want to fulfill? And what will happen a lot of times, you will set a goal and you will do the values elicitation process, and then you look back at the goal and you'll realize that's actually not going to fulfill these values. When that happens, you want to throw away the goal because the values are more important. The goal is obviously not going to fulfill those values for you. And this is where people get really confused. They get so caught up in thinking, no, the goal is more important than their values. And I've had people come to me and say, can I change my values? And I was like, why would you want to do that? Well, I want to change my values so that this goal will fulfill that. It's like, that is going to be harder than trying to achieve any goal. Just change the goal. But people are still caught up in what my mentor would call other esteem. Not self-esteem, but other esteem. Trying to accomplish things that other people will be impressed by because they're looking for validation outside of themselves. If you're looking for validation outside of yourself, it will never fulfill you because you're not in control of it. You're not in control of other people. So you could do the most impressive thing. Let's say they are impressed with you. And then that's it. They move on with their lives. They don't think about you that much. What then? Well, that feeling of maybe you had a moment of fulfillment, but that goes away really fast. Also, you might do all the most impressive things and nobody cares. This is going to make you very insecure. This is going to make you very anxious. You want to take that control back, that locus of control. You and only you get to validate what's important to you. You and only you get to validate whether or not you're aligned with what's important to you. Don't ever give that up to anyone else. So you need to understand what your values are. And you need to understand what goals, what activities that align with those values that you can do starting right now. When you do those, you will feel it right away. When you align with your values, you will immediately feel your self-esteem go up. You will immediately feel good about yourself. So if success is one of your values and you're doing successful behaviors, you don't even have to have any grand achievement yet. You just start doing behaviors that are aligned with the kind of success that you want, you will feel it right away. This also creates motivation. You will have endless motivation because it feels good, because it feels fulfilling, and you'll just want to do more of it. So this is where your potential lies. If you have a value of happiness, you want to be happy, check your goal. Is your goal aligned with that? If not, toss it out. Find a goal that aligns with your happiness. When you do that, you're definitely going to achieve it because the goal becomes not that important. What you're really doing is you're fulfilling your happiness. So the goal is just kind of a milestone. It's like a target. So if you have a goal and now you have your values, you can create a vision from those values. You can imagine if you had a blank canvas in front of you and this blank canvas represented whatever area of your life this goal is in, start asking yourself, well, what would it look like, whatever your values are, just put them all out there on the canvas. Paint the canvas so that you can see what it looks like if all of your values were being actualized right in front of you. So few people actually can tell you how to create a real vision. They will tell you how to create a vision or vision boards, and they'll tell you to pictures out of a magazine, they'll tell you to print pictures off the internet, but those are not generated from your mind. So they're not very compelling, they're not very motivating. They're also two-dimensional. They also stick on a two-dimensional board, a piece of cardboard that you might see twice a day, sitting next to your bed. But when you actually generate images from your values and you put together a vision based on that, no vision board can beat that. What happens is that stays with you wherever you go. It's not like it's just in the corner of your room. It's actually right in front of you all the time, regardless if you're conscious of it or not. Trust me, this is far more powerful than a vision board, and it will lead you to that vision and to actualizing that vision. And here's the thing, you don't want a lot of specific details in your vision because values are actually vague. They're generalizations about experiences that are important to you. You don't need all the details. You just need to know what's important to you and you follow that light. Your values become your headlights on a path that you are carving out for yourself that no one else can give you. This is how you create your own path to creating the life you want to live. Before you go run out and create that vision or try to create that vision, we want to address the second problem, which is resistance. You want to check in with yourself. Do you have resistance to creating this vision you see before you, this vision that is created from your values? Sometimes you will. Even as beautiful as the vision looks, you might have a part of you that says, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of disappointment. Or I'm doubting myself. I don't think I'm good enough. I don't even think I'm worthy or deserving. I'm afraid I will be embarrassed if I fail. There's so many of these things that might come up because this part of you doesn't want you to get hurt. A lot of times people characterize resistance as self-sabotage, as if there's a part of themselves that is trying to hurt them or trying to not let you get what you want. That is not what's happening. So you want to drop that entirely. There is no part of you that doesn't want you to be fulfilled. All parts of you want you to be fulfilled. So what you need to do is get in touch with that part, get into communication with this part of you and ask it, what is its positive intention for you? So if it's saying, well, I don't want you to be disappointed if you fail, then you ask the part, what do you want from me instead of being disappointed? And the part might just say, I want you to be happy. Beautiful. That's a beautiful value. What the part is doing is it's trying to protect you. Most of our resistant parts, that's what they're trying to do. Because early in life, we have these negative experiences and we tell ourselves, don't experience that again. Don't do that again because it might be embarrassing or it might be disappointing. And then that part of you listens and says, okay, well, how do I make sure that you never fail? By never trying. And that's why you encounter this resistance. It's not trying to hurt you, it's trying to protect you. Make communication with it, find out what its positive intention is, and then get it turned into a positive. What do you want from me instead of what you don't want from me? And get it in the form of a value. If the value is happiness, does happiness fit in your vision along with all of your other values that you've elicited from the goal? Of course it does. Of course it will. So you want to make sure that you're eliciting a nice, strong value from that resistant part. And once you have that, you integrate that into the vision. Once all of your resistance is transformed into the positive and then added to your vision, there's no more resistance. You have nothing holding you back. There's no weights holding you back. There's no restrictions. You have just completely greased the tracks and you are going full stead ahead toward your vision. And last but not least, in fact, this is the most important part. It is the basis and essence of everything that I teach. That is transforming yourself into the person who creates that life. So that just by being that person, being the best you automatically create your dream life. How do we do this? You will find this in what you believe about yourself. Your identity is a huge generalization that encompasses all of the beliefs you have about yourself, both positive and negative. It's your negative beliefs about yourself that is really dragging you down. So how do we go about this? Well, now you have this list of values, and what you can do is go down that list of values and turn them into qualities. So for example, if I have a value of happiness, joy, success, love, these are all my values for something I want to achieve. Then I'm going to go down that list and say, am I a happy person? Am I a joyful person? Am I a loving person? And if success is one of my values, am I a successful person? So I'm asking myself, what do I believe about myself? Now, if I get a very quick, congruent yes, yes, you are a happy person, then I don't really need to work on that quality. I could probably tune up that belief, but that's not where I want to start, and that's not where the problem is. And you want to be honest with yourself. It does not help to fake anything. It does not help to lie to yourself. If I ask myself, am I a success, and I get a no, that probably means that I believe I'm a failure. And that is an actual belief I had about myself, and it was very painful to admit. So when I elicited my values, went down the list, and I saw success was one of my values. We want to pursue and align with success. That helps, but I believed I was a failure. So it didn't matter how much I tried, how hard I tried, I was not going to succeed, because what you believe is true about you becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you believe about yourself, if it's negative and limits you, you're going to abide by that belief, meaning I would always find a way to fail. And that's what people think is, this self-sabotage. No, it's just your belief. It is so difficult to act outside of your beliefs. In fact, when it does happen, it's usually by accident. So what do we have to do here? We need to transform these beliefs about yourself. We need to transform your values into certain and solid qualities of who you are. And there's an exact process for this called the self-concept model. This is the basis of everything that I teach. And you can actually understand how to elicit these beliefs about yourself and transform them one belief at a time. This last step is the most important thing you can possibly learn and possibly do for yourself, because when it comes to creating your dream life, like I said before, it takes becoming the person you want to be, becoming the person you value. You will do that a lot faster than it takes to actually sort of surround yourself with this dream life. And like I said, if you don't take care of this first, and you are able to accomplish a lot and surround yourself with luxury and all these things that you want, there will be a disconnect. This is often what is referred to as imposter syndrome, and I've worked with so many people who have this problem. They have had so many successes, so many achievements, because they were driving themselves more and more thinking the next success, the next success. This is when I'll actually feel like I am of value and of purpose. And when they come to me, they're very successful on paper. They have lots of money, they have a beautiful family, they have the car, the house, all of those things, and they can't understand why they feel so empty and so unhappy. And it's because they didn't take care of this piece first. When you transform into the person you want to be, it is so much easier to create the dream life that you want. And that is exactly what happened to me. I wasn't even sure what that dream life would look like. I set these goals and I went down the list with these values and got clear on which ones I believe were certain about myself and which ones weren't. And I took the ones that weren't and I transformed myself into those beliefs, into those qualities. It was like my life suddenly took off at 100 miles an hour, creating all of my dreams, all of the things that I wanted. And it only took a few years. And when I say it only took a few years, that might sound long, but it was fun and enjoyable every step of the way. It wasn't like I was having to will myself and discipline myself and trying to put it all together. I really felt fulfilled and enjoyed every step of the way of creating my dream life, and now I'm living it. So instead of chasing all these successes and achievements, become a successful person, become an achiever, become a happy person. You can do that all just by transforming your beliefs. You're still using your real life experiences. We don't do any fake it till you make it here. So you're drawing on real life experiences that you've overlooked to become that person. And then once you believe it, it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And if you want to see this in action, I have a video where I'm doing this with a client, transforming one belief about him after another, and you will find that video right here.